Mm.
If they know the true reason why, and it's not because I want to make money or just be famous, there you go.
Huh.
Because if you have to have, I believe, to survive in this business. And yes, there are individuals who literally get discovered on, the street, the restaurant, whatever, and that works for them. But eventually, if you don't truly fall in love with the craft, you're going to lose yourself, and you're going to lose the fun of it, because it could get really challenging. Auditioning, it's like first it was like 1 out of 11 you get it. Now, because of which is amazing, we have so many more opportunities. It's like 1 out of 50,
Right.
And even when you do make it, you still have to audition. There are still hurdles. But what has kept me in the game is that. Why am I doing this? And for me, I love being a storyteller. I come alive. I feel like I learn a lot from the characters that I play. I also love a challenge. Yeah. So, there's multiple whys, but you want to make sure that their why is the right reason, because then that'll kind of tell you where they might be headed.
And you had to remind, I can imagine after, there's a 20-year gap between Sister and your time starting on Hallmark.
With these damn things.
No, well, it sounded like you weren't working. Psychology degree from Pepperdine. Give me a break. We're over here watching movies for a living, Tamara. Just come on.
I'm an overachiever, okay?
But you say, I know. Look, there's no doubt about that. But you say 1 out of 50 auditions, and then you're probably on top of that going, all right, I've got someone else that's just like me that wants to do this. And I've been typecast, so it's hard for me to even get my foot in the door. So to have that attitude and know why you're doing it, in it facing a sea of, I have all the excuses at my disposal that I need to not do this anymore or to take a role that's not right for me. I have all of these things that I could say and no one would question it. To have that, amount of fortitude to do what's right, that must have been, I can't imagine, it must have been really, really difficult. Yeah,
it was. And what kept me going though was that drive and my love for the arts, my love, I don't know, I always feel like, when you see a scene and it's a good one, you're like, wow, I remember what it took to get me there. And I'm always learning and always growing. That's I love it. And that's why I love doing films, Right. I feel like every film for me, my goal is to grow as an actress, because I took a 7-year break. It was, I didn't do anything. And thank God for Hallmark to actually be like, you love to act, Tamara, come on.
That's great.
Let's do this. And it's become that place, for me, but it was difficult. There are times where you're like, well, am I supposed to be doing this? Or why am I doing this? I quit. But I kind of did for 7 years. I was a talk show host, and I will tell you this: I will do this as long as I'm enjoying it and I'm happy doing it. The moment I'm like this, I don't know, this, I don't get any joy from it anymore, is when I'll stop.
Yeah.
I'll just, my husband has a winery. I'll help him make wine.
What's the name of this winery? Since
oh
we're
my
doing
gosh.
this.
Okay. So it's called Housley Napa.
Okay.
If you're ever in downtown Napa, we have a tasting room. It was voted the #1 tasting room in Napa, and I was shocked because we don't have this gorgeous view. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm always straight up. We don't have that gorgeous Napa view, but we have amazing music. I created a vibe there where I want people to just feel welcomed. Everyone is welcomed there, and it's comfortable. The wine is great. It's solid and it's affordable.
I love it.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm not saying you have to send us wine, but it would make us really, really cool with our wives.
Dan?
So
we're all the way.
If you just say one positive thing about my Hallmark.
Okay.
film,
Okay. All right.
Here's
what we'll do.
Listen, there's a lot that I can say that's nice, and I'm looking forward to Dream Moms, which we're going to talk about, I'm sure, at some point during this.
I'm scared.
Yeah. Well, I do have a question before I say anything nice. There's a movie called Girl Friendship where you guys go to South Carolina. We're in South Carolina right now. So that was I'm from South Carolina. That's a lot. It was really fun to see. And you play a character, you're Tamara, play a character named Samara. And how? Like, how did you get that script and go, no? Was that like a misprint? They were like, this is a Tamara type, and they put Samara by accident? Is that what happened?
That's what you're asking? Honestly, I had nothing to do with it. I was not even like, she didn't write the script for me. So the girl's name was just Samara. And I happened to be Tamara.
I love it.
The thing is, I don't know if everyone articulated the S. So it sounded like someday it was like Samara. Then sounded like Tamara.
It was way
That's the nice thing about that, though, is because if you mess it up, it's kind of like, did I, though? Did I mess it up, though?
Not to get into character.
Did I?
It's, pretty straightforward. We were watching the first 10 minutes. I was like, her name is Samara?
Yeah. And I'm telling you, that was just a coincidence. Like I said, it wasn't like they saw me and were like, okay, let's name this girl Samara. No. It was written way before I
That's
was added
fantastic.
onto it.
I don't know if I believe it, but it's fantastic.
While she was writing it. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Are you calling her a liar?
I'm not. I'm not calling. No way.
I'm
No way would
not
I do
actually, Dan.
No, she is not.
No,
a liar.
of course
I have lied, but I'm not a liar.
That's exactly right.
Let me ask you this: you were in a Hallmark movie with a time traveling carousel.
Yeah.
You're in one.
We're talking about all of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're in one where you and Paul Campbell are worried about Joe Pantoliano and the mob next door.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
You're in one
Which I'm
where
surprised Joe. He even did our film. First, we were like, "Why the hell are you here?"
Well, what's wild is I saw that and I was like, this is unbelievable. And then I felt like he wasn't in it enough. Like I was like, man,
that's what we were saying. I will tell you, there was this one scene when we're just sitting there, talking to him, and we're asking him questions. He does his coverage first, right? Paul and I look at each other and we're like, what the hell was that? Like, what kind of that was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, why are you what it was like Oscar winning performance. But he genuinely, you want to know why he did it?
Why is that?
Okay, this is exclusive, you guys.
Oh, we get an exclusive.
I don't know if he will ever do another one, but he was in it because his daughter is a huge fan of Hallmark, and she said, "Daddy, you need to do a Hallmark."
Wow, look at that. Joey Pants on Hallmark just because of his daughter.
How cool is that?
That's awesome.
The thing we do for
That's
our
awesome.
kids.
So you're in that time traveling carousel. You do a movie with Ronnie Rowe Jr., who we love. Ronnie Rowe.
I love him.
And he's launching satellites to Mars from like a upper level office in the middle of like a mid-level city. Like it's an office about the size of our podcast network.
That's not my fault.
But they're sending. Is there anything that you've read in one of these movies that you're like, we've got to change that? This is we can't move forward. Is there anything you've read in one of these scripts that you're like, hey, could we maybe tweak this? This is absurd. Or are you just on board? You read it and you're like, I'm on board.
I'm okay. So I feel like I had to do a couple to actually be able to say something.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? So
and you're a producer on some of these. So on some of these, you get a legit foot in the door. You get a say in some of this. Others,
but I was, but I also was new.
Okay.
So now I feel like I'm a little bit more of a seasoned Hallmark actress. I know a little bit about what we can do. And or say. And I didn't realize in the beginning, even though I was a producer, and now I know why Paul is very much hands-on.
Right.
Yeah.
Paul, and I learned that with Santa Stakeout, like, no, I think we should do this, or I think we, should that. And while we were shooting that, he was writing his Christmas film. I think it was Unexpected Christmas. Literally, we're shooting, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just writing this Christmas film. And I'm like, what? He's amazing. But yeah, I didn't know actually how much control we could have. And I know that sounds crazy with your name saying you are producing it. But and also the time that you have to shoot these things.
Oh, it's nothing.
It's crazy, but also addictive because it becomes a huge challenge. Now, yes. Like there was one. So with Dream Moms, I will tell you this. I did not want the girls to sound like catty. They were, in the beginning, it's like the last thing you want to see are two grown two grown women, like being passionate about, something, their family, and sounding catty. So I was like, no, let's have grown adult women, conversations about this. And so, I'm starting to change some things. And then also I thought it was really important. You'll see in Dream Moms, there is a scene that I have with Roger Cross is amazing. He plays my husband, where I'm talking about what I want to do. And I want to make sure that my husband is on board, with this. And we need to have an honest conversation about that. And that's another scene that I fought to have in this film. So out of all the films, this is the first one where I started to.
Okay. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I will say, I just want to add, you going through kind of her Hallmark movies made me think about how different the Hallmark movies are that you get to make. Like from film to film, they're different, which is really fun. Like you get to show your comedy in Santa Stakeout, and Vending Christmas Prince. It's like this sincere mom who's doing it. Like there's so many different, like, is that just kind of like luck of the draw with these movies, or is it like you being like, I want to like next one I want to do something a little bit different?
You're absolutely right. It's me saying I want to do something different. I want to show, again, like I'm so grateful for Hallmark that I now have a home and a community where I can grow as an actress and like just try new things. So I will literally just let them know, hey, I want to do a film that, where you see a little bit more of my emotional side. I've always wanted to do a detective. I've always wanted to have, a comedy. Because when I first went to them, they were like, oh, we don't really do that. We don't really do comedy, So I'm so happy Hallmark is progressing. They're becoming more inclusive. They are, we're able to try all these different things. I mean, in Dream Moms is about it's a two women lead. Usually there's a male.
That's
lead,
fantastic. Yeah.
And I love it. And now we see like 3 women, leads, 3 male, leads. And also I love that the males are getting like Paul's new mystery series. They get to be, leads. I think that's amazing.
Instead of just placeholders. Like it seems like over the last 2 or 3 years, there really has been a push to just widen the net across the board. Genre, inclusion, everything. And that has qualitatively made the films way better.
I believe. Oh, you said something positive.
I did. See, I told you I would. See, I'm not a complete monster. Let's if I meet you in person and call you Samara, though, you can't blame that on me.
But you know what? The type of person I am, Dan, I will tell you, I'll be like, oh, sweetheart, it's Samara. But I will tell you, genuinely, I have heard some of your reviews, and I was like, damn, that was really harsh. You did make me cry one time.
No,
but genuinely,
oh man, come on.
I want to hug you.
Okay.
And I just because I'm a hugger.
Yeah. Me too, if you can believe it, Tamara. Like
because he's clearly he's clearly broken and he needs a hug. I get it. I get it. But let me do this. Dream Moms this Saturday. Yes. Why is Dan going to like?
I don't know. I'm transparent. I was on a show called The Real. I don't know if Dan's gonna like Dream Moms.
Well, why am I gonna love Dream Moms? Let's do that.
If he does, okay, this is where I would like Dan to like Dream Moms because of this. You have 2 actors who haven't danced in like years. I did The Masked Singer,
Oh yeah.
These are 2 women who were willing to just go for it. Like, and that's what you will see. I will tell you that, Dan. You will see these 2 moms who, obviously Chelsea's a mom in real life. I'm a mom in real life. So you're naturally going to see that passion, there. But you'll see them really strive and try to win this competition and also tap into something that they haven't done in a long time, but, really push to do it well. And I think that's why you'll like it. I think you'll love the music. I really do.
I'm here for it. I can't wait, Tamara. I can't wait.
If you don't, then we're gonna have a conversation.
Can I tell you this, Tamara? Regardless, I love you. You're wonderful. This has been this 30 minutes has not just it's flown by, and we have to have you on again because I would love to. I have a dozen questions I didn't get to, and I know you're doing press all day.
Yes.
But I'm just telling you, we've got to have you on again. You are an absolute delight. And
just give me this. Just give me this. Just give me this one.
Okay.
Sister reboot. Sister moms doing life together. Is it? Can we get it?
I will tell you this. I do feel something in the future with my sister and I doing something together. How about that?
That's a good tease.
She never gets that question.
I'm sure she never has, but doesn't mean I'm not going to ask.
It's actually Sia and Samara.
No,
it's going to be crazy.
Tamara, thank you so much for joining us. It's been so much fun.
I'll be
there.
The best. I love you guys. No, I
love you.
God bless you. You're the best.
And may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you guys. Merry Christmas to you too.
Oh,
all right.
Tamara, you were wonderful. Seriously, please come back. We'd love to talk to you all day. Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. Is produced by Aaron Shea. Yes. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, but guess what? You don't have to hear my voice after this little 30-second pitch. We had our good friend Andrew Walker join us, and not us, I mean his eventual co-star Autumn Reeser. They have a movie coming out in August, but you know what they did? They have never worked together, and so they did a little actor-on-actor interview for us, for Deck the Hallmark listeners, and you get to listen. You get to peek behind the curtain and listen to two actors who've never worked together, talk to each other and get to know each other for the first time right here on Deck the Hallmark. We hope you enjoy it. If you do, please do let us know. And without any further ado, here's Andrew Walker and Autumn Reeser on the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Hi, everybody. I'm Andrew Walker, and I'm in Hallmark movies.
And I'm Autumn Reeser, and I am also in Hallmark movies.
And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Hi, Autumn.
Hey, nice to chat with you this morning.
You too. This is going to be the first real chat that we've had about acting ever in our life.
I know. We're about to start a movie in a little less than a week. And so this is nice. We get a little, behind the scenes catch up before we launch in and go to work.
I know. And I actually love quarantine before I work. It's kind of just like my peaceful time to dive in and get to know myself a little bit better too.
Oh, which is hard when you have little children at home, as you and I both do. It's hard to find that time for yourself to really dive in as an artist and as a human being, as I'm sure all parents know too. It's like, wait, who am I? What do I enjoy outside of making snacks for small people? I don't remember who I am anymore.
Yeah. Your kids are, you said 5 and 7 or 7 and 10?
They're 7 and almost 10. And so they're getting out of that really intense phase of parenting. And it's kind of amazing, but you're in it with your littles.
I'm in it.
How old are yours?
Yeah, I'm in it. And so is Brandon, actually. Our kids are almost pretty much the same age, same gap. They're 15 months and 5.5. He's almost 6 in July. Our eldest is almost 6, but it's been weird for him transitioning back into kindergarten right now because it's the first year in this new kindergarten class. Yeah. So he was in there for the first time last week, and it was just kind of some just mental stress or like, you know, things that he was kind of dealing with that was indirect to the actual, like, we had to ask him, like, why are you acting like this? What's the deal? Like, why are you, you know, being this way right now? And he's like, because finally he like blurted it out, and he was like, because I'm scared. I'm shy. I don't want to go to kindergarten. I'm shy.
Oh my gosh. Wait, have you read the book, The Pigeon Has to Go to School?
No.
Oh my gosh, get it for him. It's perfect. It's this. Do you ever read those like Piggy and Gerald books or the Pigeon books by Mo Willems?
No.
Oh my gosh, Andrea, you have to get them. It's so cute. There's this little pigeon and he's stressed all the time about all sorts of things in his life and he's hilarious. But my son loves this book. It's called The Pigeon Has to Go to School. And it's about the pigeon freaking out about all of these reasons he doesn't want to go to kindergarten. Great. And then he discovers like why he does want to go to kindergarten. Oh, I feel like your son will love it.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. How about your kids? Have they been a little tentative in going back to school after this year of being on Zoom?
No. They're my younger one is just like a social being to his core and just like full of energy. So I had more trouble keeping him. He's in first grade, and I had more trouble keeping him focused at home. You know, he could stay focused for like 10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
So it became very. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I wonder where he gets this from. But he's like, you know, I think he's really loving being back in school, and I think it's really good for him. So no, but you know, he had a year of kindergarten, almost a year of kindergarten before COVID started. So, you know, it's not quite the same thing. I can imagine that's really hard for your little guy.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, it's, you just, you know, you got to get past things and move on and move forward in life. And I think these like little challenges that we've all had with our kids and the challenges the kids have had, I think it's just going to make for, you know, they're going to look back at this time in 2 years. And they're going to say, you know, I wasn't in an unprecedented time and I got through it, and, you know, and that's it, you know? So
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure people don't want to hear all about our kids' stories because we talk about this for hours, but,
let's talk about acting.
Acting. Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to give people a really quick backstory. So Autumn and we have been trying to work together for almost a year and a half. We sat down, had coffee together with a couple producers, a director friend of ours. And that was the extent of how far that last project got.
Yeah, because COVID started.
Still very excited about it. But we have been this feels like it was kind of manifested in a way for us we, you know, and I think, you know,
this is super magical how this happened. Like, this is a project I've been developing for 3 years, and we were thinking it might get off the ground last year, and then we finally got it off the ground this year, and I was so excited about it, and I really wanted you for it. But I found out, like, we don't really, even being a producer, like, you don't always get to pick your cast. Like, that's kind of something that Hallmark does. And so I had mentioned to my co-producer, I was like, this is who I want, and I hope he's available, and blah, blah, blah. And then unbeknownst to me, they asked you to do it. And then I found out, and I was like, wait, this is magical. How did this doesn't, like, it feels so.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I thought that you had kind of like, you know.
I found out I have like no say. Despite being a producer, I have like no say.
I did the same thing for Love and Design. I produced a movie called Love and Design, and you know, and I was creative producer on it. And I came up with the concept with a friend of mine, and basically I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna pick exactly who I want to work with. And you know, looking back at it, it couldn't have been a better person for the role. And I had a great time working with her, which was Danica McKellar, but it was, I had no say. I realized I was like, oh no, I don't even have like an opinion. It was totally out of my hands. So
yeah, but I think it's really cool that like Hallmark was like, oh, we've been wanting to see Andrew and Autumn work together for a while too. So it feels like it was just really divinely aligned. And I feel so grateful to have you on this project because it's so near and dear to my heart. And the story is in a way my story. And so I'm just thankful to Spirit, God, the universe for manifesting this in this way. It's perfect.
So am I. And I love this story, honestly, like just sitting with it for the past week and a half now. it's so timely. I don't know how much you want to say about it or what, but I'm sure we can talk about it, right?
Yeah, I'll just give everybody like a quick rundown on it. I mean, or on my character. How about that? And then you give everybody a quick rundown on yours.
Yeah.
So this is about a girl who runs a blog, and it's all about efficiency and maximizing your time. And she lives in the city, and she prides herself on being a girl on the go. And I used to run a magazine for women an online magazine for women called Move Lifestyle. And it was all about the same thing. Like, making them like quick tips for like an efficient wardrobe and things like that. And in this story, Lauren discovers that, oh, hey, that's not all there is to life. And she goes to this retreat center where she learns to reconnect with nature and with her breath, and to redefine time in a more holistic way. And that's been a lot of my journey too. So that's Lauren's story in this. How about Jack's?
Man, I'm that is so awesome to hear that you had that magazine. I had no idea that it was an online magazine.
Yeah, it was an online magazine, and I ran it with a couple friends. I mean, it's like a blog e-magazine, a mix between the two. And I loved doing it. We ran for like 3 or 4 years. Okay. We ran this magazine. Yeah. And it was so satisfying, and I just learned so much. But then ultimately it wasn't what I wanted to do. I was spending all day in front of the computer, and that is not how I want to live my life.
Yeah, no, I hear you there.
Yeah.
So Jack is kind of the complete opposite to why am I blanking on your character's name?
Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren. Thank you. But what's interesting about the two characters is that Lauren, I teach Lauren about taking time to relax and just taking time for herself. And Lauren teaches me to kind of seize the moment, which is interesting, seize the day. And we find this really, Jack owns this retreat, this kind of health and wellness retreat, mainly for realizing time efficiency, and just like, people that feel like they're kind of have been cramming all this into their life to go and unwind, and there's no technology allowed. And it's something that he built with his family. His father is originally the one that kind of converted their home into this retreat. And now since his father has passed, soon to be brother-in-law run the place. And there's a lot of pressure on his back because there was hopes for an expansion, and that was kind of in his father's plans, and he really wants to to stay true to that and follow through. And so he's kind of at this crossroads where he's a guy that is aware of taking time to relax and everything, but right now he's kind of at this pivotal point in his life where he is trying to scrounge up the money to do the expansion, and some things are falling through that he didn't plan for, and Lauren shows up right at this time and kind of helps him through this process, as does he with her. And so, yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell, the Jack character. And I just love how, one is trying to take the time to relax, and another person is trying to, figure out how to, if they've made the wrong decisions in their life, and really just, taking time to seize the day, so yeah. I think life in general is kind of that balance, right? Where you want to be able to seize the moment, not overwork, not, overstress yourself, but at the same time. And I think that's what's neat about, most people having the ability to work out on an online platform or do yoga or do meditation. There's so much now in the Western culture that we're able to access through relaxation and, and kind of getting yourself into having, focusing on your mental health, so I think that really what it comes down to. And so I think this is timely, and I love being a part of this story. And And now, Autumn, I have a question. You were talking about it before, but I'd love to know how you started acting as well.
Oh, good. And then I have the same question for you. I saw a play, like a community theater play. I'm from Southern California, a little surf town. And my parents.
Which one?
Carlsbad and Oceanside.
Oh, sweet. You're from Carlsbad?
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah, my dad was a surfer. And so my parents moved there for the waves when they were, in their early 20s. And then they had me and my sister. And they were really good. I didn't come from a family that was like, our lineage, like we didn't have a lot of artists or anything like that. My parents did a really good job, even with no money, at making sure to expose us to the arts. And so they had taken me and my little sister to go see a community theater production of Cinderella when I was like 6. And there was a little kid in this play playing a mouse. And I was like, wait, what? You can embody your story. You can be in the story. Like, cause we didn't have a lot of TV or anything like that. And I don't think it would have even occurred to me that those were real humans. But seeing it in person, I was like, that's what I'm supposed to do with the rest of my life. Like, it was like, that memory is like seared into my brain. And
at 6 years old. Wow.
At 6. Yeah. It was that clear. And so I begged my parents I was already a big reader at life. So story was a big part of my life. And I was like, my parents, kudos to them, looked into how do you get a kid involved in this in our hometown. And so I grew up doing community theater, and I rarely had leading roles at all. Like, I was usually in the chorus or like a secondary. And then I went to theater school at 17, and which was very intimidating because I did not have, the luxury of having attended like an arts high school or anything like that. So when I auditioned, those were the first monologues I'd ever done in my life. And like, I don't even think I ever rehearsed them in front of another human being. I would like rehearse them in my bedroom because I was nervous, or I don't know. And then, got in, and then went to school for a few years. And then I started interning at a casting agency because I wanted to learn the business side of things. I went to UCLA, so I was in Los Angeles and knew I wanted to get into the film and television side of things by that point. And, I worked really hard, but I also got lucky. And then I started working, I think when I was about 20, and I left school to work, and then that's how it all started.
What was your first gig? What was your first like paying?
My first, I think it was Star Trek Voyager. Was like my first real.
Oh, that's cool.
First real gig, yeah. And
so like a little alien kid.
Yeah, I was an alien. Yeah, I was an alien child. Of course, I had like the full hair and like the body makeup and the nose thing, and I was just beside myself with joy. It was on the Paramount lot, so I got to drive in through those gates on my first day of work. I was like, I've arrived. It was very, very, very exciting. And and so it was just, I was just so excited. That's my origin story in a nutshell. Your turn.
Great. Kind of the same thing. I was around 8, 9 when I got into a lunchtime drama program at my elementary school. And
where are you from?
I'm from Montreal, Canada. So I'm from Montreal, and I was doing a lunchtime drum program, and my mother got a call from my teacher, and she's like, "Hey, I'm putting together an agency. Your son seems to like this. Would you mind if I started sending him out for auditions?" And my dad was kind of against it. My dad has a brother who is an actor, and he's out of Toronto, and he's seen the ups and downs of the business.
Oh, wow.
And also my dad was like really into me playing sports, and I was excelling at a couple sports and soccer and football. And he was like, no, it's going to take time away from his sports. But then once I got a call for my first audition, my dad was the first person. He was a school principal, elementary school principal.
Oh, wow.
And he was the first person to take time out of his day to drive me downtown Montreal for my first audition, which I ended up booking, which was crazy.
Oh my God.
And to bring us back full circle, it was on a show that David Winning, our current director, had directed.
No way.
Yeah, called Are You Afraid of the Dark? And
oh my gosh, I used to watch that show. I love it.
No way. Yeah. So
full circle. Love this.
Yeah. So I that was my first role. I would probably, once the agency started growing and she actually started getting kids out there, I must have been around 11, maybe 10, 11. And so that was my first college money. And so every time I had to do an audition afterwards, he would take time out of his day, drive me downtown, and I would do my auditions. And then it just kind of started snowballing from there. But when I hit 15, I was like all in with football. And I really my future, what I thought my future was, I was just going to go to college, American college, get a scholarship to play football. And fast forward a few years later, I got a scholarship to play at a few schools. I picked Boston College, and in spring camp, I tore my ACL and lost the scholarship and went back. I was back in Montreal rehabbing. I had surgery and kind of not knowing what my next step would be. And I had been acting at this point for almost 8-9 years. And, it didn't seem like it was a reality that I could actually do this as a career. But I immediately, 2 months after my rehab, I ended up booking my first leading role in a TV series. And that lasted for a year and a half, kind of got me through the struggles of an identity crisis. Cause I was like, I'm a football player. I'm not an actor. I still don't identify as an actor, which is weird in my life, you know? And so I ended up doing that. And then that's got me into another role. And then from when I was around 20 years old, I finished a TV series in Montreal, and a guy that I was working with, a co-star I was working with, and I decided to take off and go to Los Angeles. And we bought this $500 car and documented the whole trip out, an arm in Los Angeles that was able to get me out for auditions. I was in LA for 2 weeks. I tested for As the World Turns, which was my first test in New York, and I didn't get it. And I was like, okay, well, that's that's it for me. And like a week later, I ended up auditioning for a TV show called Maybe It's Me. And it was on the WB network.
I was on that show.
You were on Maybe It's Me?
Yes, I didn't. How did we never know this about each other? Wait, keep going, and then I'll tell you. So
I ended up getting picked up for an entire season, and that I was 21, and that was 20 years ago.
Maybe we met each other before. I did 2 episodes of that during like the prom. There was a prom.
Oh my gosh! I don't remember the prom. My character was Rick Stage. I was the brother with the really high hair.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Did you go to the prom? Did your character go to the prom with this really, really beautiful girl with really dark hair?
Yes.
Okay. I was definitely in those episodes, and we have definitely met before then. This is hilarious.
I thought you were going to say, I was the girl with the beautiful girl.
No. I was just remembering. I remembered her, but I didn't. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's so
I'm
funny.
remembering you now. This is so funny.
That's how I know Bethany Joy Lenz as well. She did 1 episode of Maybe It's Me, and then she ended up booking One Tree Hill afterwards. And now we've done 2 movies together. We've done a Lifetime movie. We've done a Hallmark movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Maybe It's Me it was a funny show because there was so many actors in it, and I think that's one of the reasons why we got canceled as well. It was a really expensive show for the WB. But there was so many great actors that passed through. And if I look back now at some of the day players that were doing like guest spots and stuff like that, I'm like, wow, look at this person's career now. They've worked, they're series regular on NCIS or whatever, like these Dick Wolf shows and stuff. So it's, that's so funny, Autumn.
Funny. Yeah. I think I played, okay. So the blonde girl, your little sister, right? What was her name? Did she play your sister?
Reagan Denise. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. She lives in Vancouver, actually.
Oh my gosh. So I think I played like either her friend or her enemy or something.
Okay.
And I was at the prom. Frenemy? Maybe her frenemy. Oh my gosh. This is too funny.
That's so funny.
Okay.
So
I love
Autumn,
it.
how do you prepare for a movie?
It's different depending. Every movie's different for me because it depends on the character. Every movie takes a different level of preparation. I've played real people before, and obviously you have to rhythm and cadence and matching their energy. And so that takes this very specific type of preparation. And but something, when I'm working for Hallmark, so much of it is heart-centered for me in these roles, is allowing people to feel my heart. And so with these movies, it's about aligning to where your character's love is placed, and figuring out where I relate to that, and at what point in the story she opens her heart, and how closed she is, and how hurt she's been or not. Has some of these.
I think that's what draws people hearing this, because I think that's the therapeutic
yes. The healing
purpose
power
behind these movies. Yeah. That's why I get, I'll be in an airplane and a woman will come over to me and say, "Hi, are you Andrew Walker?" And I say, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh my gosh, I've been in remission from breast cancer for the past year. And when I was going through cancer treatments, I'd come home and I would turn on Hallmark Channel, and you've been such a pivotal point of, in my mental health. It's so special. It feels so fulfilling, to a moment in their life."
Yeah, these movies can be medicine, and we are at a point in human history in which the world needs a lot of healing. And so I feel really grateful for the people who are able to find healing and in
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I love that. That's exactly, my approach with these things too, is how honest can I be? What can people relate to in a way in building a relationship with somebody? And also I like going into these projects with the complete unknown and just figuring it out on the spot and not having too much of it plotted out beforehand. Mm-hmm. Obviously there's that pivotal point where the relationship, there's a change, there's something there's all right, we're in a different place now, and we're able to have a little bit more fun, flirtatious fun. And, but it really is about just exploring those boundaries. Is the blueprint of how that relationship has panned out at the end. You know what I mean? It's not like people are oh, Hallmark movies are, they're very similar, all of them, big city girl moves back to the small town and meets their, her high school sweetheart. And then they fall in love, and then they, at the very end of the movie get married, or, they're going to live happily ever after. But really, when you look at every single one of those movies, the way that they fell in love in that movie is totally different in every movie. And it's interesting to kind of go into it, different things that make them tick or whatever. And people ask me, "Oh, are you tired of working on learning in every single one of these movies?"
Yeah. And even with the similarities, it's you really do get to reveal a different part of yourself with, in some ways, more fun, the subtle differences. Okay, where can I pull from that I haven't pulled from before? And you get to push yourself and, Yeah. No, I feel really fortunate to be so, to be ingrained in the family. I think this is my 22nd. Oh my, I think you have the record, right? I think I read somewhere that you and Lacey have the record.
Yeah, I think Lacey crushes me, but I think I might. Whenever I'm on Home and Family, Cameron Matheson and I, we would always, brag about, I've done Cameron, because Cameron was up at around 17 or so, but then I think he's done maybe one or two since then. But now I'm coming on Cameron, I'm at 20 now. I'm at 20 now, buddy. What are you at?
I'm beating you.
Yeah. How about you?
Gosh, let me think. I think ours will be my 13th. I'm very excited about this one being that one. Yeah.
Also, where we're shooting is it's going to blow your mind. I don't know if you're so gorgeous, and Normally there's hot springs there, which unfortunately I'm sure closed down.
Probably glad to get to go back. And you know what? I'm excited about shooting it up here in Canada. There was a period of time where we were going to shoot it in Utah, actually. Kids and, because it's a little more local and there's no quarantine. But the locations that I've seen up here, because we're just coming out of winter, are so green and lush. Oh my gosh, this movie is going to be stunning. We're shooting it at the perfect time in the perfect place. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I know. It's a summer?
In the summer, yeah, I believe it's going to be out on August 7th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I love that.
I know.
And I love that I'm here working with you.
Me too. We're going to have so much fun. It'd be great. And it sounds like we have a really similar approach to how we work with being prepared, but then with having freedom and looseness on the day, and it being about channeling our authenticity through these people. So I think that bodes well for a really beautiful shoot and a really beautiful movie. I
have freedom and looseness. That's what I live my life by, freedom and looseness. Well, Autumn, I will see you on set.
It's been lovely interviewing you and getting to know your path, and now we can just dive right in on Monday.
I know we were supposed to talk today anyways, and just like, we just did it.
We just did it with a public forum. So
public forum. Exactly. All right. And everybody for having us on the show.
Thank you guys.
We will talk soon. And guys, look forward to you seeing our movie.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast recorded live in, that Greenville, South Carolina. Is produced by Brandon Gray. Set decor by PlumHayPodcast.com. For more information on how to listen to Deck the Hallmark ad-free, you can go to BrambleJamPlus.com.
This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark movies.
I'm Dan. I despise Hallmark movies.
And I'm Kevin, and I cannot wait to hear why you despise Hallmark movies and why you love Hallmark movies.
And this is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Oh, boy.
Man, now, Kevin, you say that like you've never listened, and that's a lie. Because before so many episodes that you loved. Yeah. Which did
I didn't know that you. I didn't know that you guys could see that I'm your number one.
We can tell.
Yeah. What's your favorite episode, Kevin? You were telling me right before here. What is it?
The one to say we're responsible for his career.
Because we're not. It already happened. We're not old enough to have
for
impact.
part two of his career. I don't know. Just give us credit.
Let's just say he wouldn't be where he is today.
We inspired his podcast. Yeah. We inspired his podcast.
We did. That's fair. And look, this is a big deal for us, Kevin. We have America's favorite living Mountie on the program with us. Team Nathan people out there, very excited. If Jack was alive, Valley, you now have taken that mantle, and boy, is it a lot of responsibility.
Although there's never been a body, though, right? I keep hearing that they never found a body.
As someone who does not care,
it zooms out, and he's just old, bloody.
I am firmly, and please don't take offense to this, Kevin. I'm firmly Team Ghost Jack. Like that's the team that I'm on.
I'm not at all. That's great.
Where he comes back and somehow there's
and haunts the town.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah. I was thinking to see him, and then he gives her his blessing, right? Like for her to move.
Ghost Dad?
Yeah, classic Bill Cosby.
Yeah. It's like Ghost Dad with Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Essentially, I see the pitch.
Perfect. You get it. See, Kevin should pitch it for us. He's got a little bit more sway than we do.
No.
Yeah.
But
you picture this. That Bill Cosby comedy.
Yeah.
But on When Calls the Heart.
You know how all good pitches start now. You guys know Bill Cosby?
I was just thinking that. They're like, okay, great.
Okay, where are you going?
Okay, well, Kevin, thanks for joining us on the podcast, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
This is very exciting because I like this. This is kind of we did the trifecta. Kevin, the last of the three to join us. How excited were you to be chosen by Elizabeth this season? Like, how much did that mean to you to finally
when you got that script, episode 5?
I remember. Yeah. I remember when I got that script, and it did. I was like, I just, it clocked something because it was, for one, it was written in crayon, and two, it was on the back of a cocktail napkin. And I was like, Mom, you can't send in these scripts and they're just going to do. So, I mean, I remember reading that one. Sadly, I can't tell you if that's what
I do love cocktail napkin crayon. Mom. So mom is writing in crayon, but she's out having cocktails somewhere. That is.
It did start like a Bill Cosby movie. Like as a kid, and when as a kid, or maybe not as a kid, when did you decide I want to give acting a whirl?
Oh, man. Well, I was born in a very small town called Kincardine. Do you guys know the show Letterkenny? Do you get that?
Yeah, I'm a big Letterkenny fan.
So Letterkenny, Jared, the guy that created Letterkenny, it's based on a town. It's half an hour from where I grew up. So that is my upbringing, Letterkenny.
Did you play hockey and challenge people to fights? Did you do that on a regular basis?
I played baseball and got fought. So, I mean,
is it, now that you brought that up, is it in your town, like, what amazes me about that is how fast everyone's talking. Like, for us down in South Carolina, I talk fast for South Carolina, but trying to understand it's like a different dialect.
That's an art form. I mean, I wish we could be like, yeah, and it just, it comes off our tongue like that. No, probably the time that I grew up and I went to high school, it was just constantly, being chirped. But the level of the way they chirp on that show is pretty incredible. And yeah. So like a farm town in Canada, you're like a Canadian.
Exactly. Fantastic.
Yeah. And when did this Canadian redneck?
I had to leave, and my town was like 5,000 people, so I had to get out if I even wanted to do it. I think it was one of the only things that I was kind of good at. I knew I liked attention, and I was like, well, what can I do? What can I do? I'll be an actor, and I was kind of involved in the theater programs and stuff. And we were lucky that we even had a theater program.
Like in your school, you did kids theater.
Yeah.
Like what was the standout play where you just knocked it out of the park?
Oof, knocked out of the park. I mean, the ones that I did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah.
With the Theater Guild. I remember
you were the coat. You were the
fortunate. Wait for it.
This production of A Cherry Orchard in high school, which I was saying things I had no idea what the Cherry Orchard. I was playing a guy that was probably 45, and I was 17 at the time. But I knew that I liked the attention. I knew, it was fun. And I thought I was kind of good at it. So I remember when I was like, I want to do this, and talking to the guidance counselor, and they were just like, I don't know where to say. I remember being like, well, there's these theater schools. And I didn't get into any of them except for one, which was like a brand new theater. Because I wasn't good, I just knew that this is something that I wanted to do. So I was lucky, I guess. I got into this one, and in this theater school, I kind of started learning more kind of what it takes, and it's going to be like this kind of Shakespeare actor, or, more on the stage. And then I moved to Toronto, and I did a bunch of work. Again, I had to study again, and you learn everything again.
Hold on. Give us your best Shakespeare.
Yeah, come on. What do you got?
What do you want? Well, okay. Oh, geez. Oh, God. Okay, well, one of you has to play Juliet.
I mean, that's clearly Bran.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, Bran. Can we get like there you go. Okay, all right. Are you ready?
Hey.
Hey. What's soft?
Uh-huh.
What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Bram is the sun.
Yeah.
Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who's already pale and sick with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than he. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Yeah. Her vesta livery is but sick and green, and none but fools to wear it cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. All that he knew.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, he speaks. Speak again, bright angel, for thou art more glorious to the night, being o'er my head that is winged messenger. Blah, blah, blah.
Still not working for me. Bye.
Man, Kevin, I just can't believe that you just get to go to Hope Valley every week when you could be doing that. Man, how much of that do you have memorized, Kevin? That's impressive.
The thing about the play, especially the Shakespeare stuff, is you just memorize it, and it just kind of it's always up there. Kind of you find yourself like in the shower, and you're like, oh yeah, the iambic pentameter.
Pentameter,
and
that's right.
You're just like, oh, I can do the da 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 da. I haven't done Shakespeare for a while. And then I was part of a festival called the Shaw Festival, which was Bernard Shaw. He wrote, I'm trying to think of the plays. What's the one My Fair Lady was based off of? Pygmalion, just a bit, about whatever. So I was part of that festival for a while, and did 2 years there, and did some plays around Toronto. I wrote some plays. I wrote a musical.
Oh, wow. What was that called?
Yeah.
You wrote a musical.
I wrote two. I wrote one called Nebraska, which was about Charlie Starkweather. It was like this murder musical. It was kind of based off of this. Bruce Springsteen has a song called Nebraska. And then when I kind of did some research onto what that song was about, I was like, oh, it might make a good musical. And you know that what's his face? Oliver Stone did a movie called Natural Born Killers. That was also based off of the Charlie Starkweather murders. So anyways, I wrote a musical about it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we did it in Toronto. And then my buddy and I, we wrote as far as I know, the first musical of the story of Hugh Hefner. And we hired it was all women that kind of told the story. They played all the parts. And it was like how he started the magazine and what he wanted it to be. And
what was that musical called?
Hugh and I.
Hallmark Christmas musical that I haven't been able to. So maybe you want to collab?
Yeah, let's do it.
He's just committing. He doesn't know that's a verbal contract.
That's a verbal contract. Yeah. It's on video.
Yeah.
Kevin, I do want to backtrack just a bit. You decide to go to theater school. You live in a town of 5,000, a farming town. Your parents, cool with that? They're like, go for it?
I mean, I think, there they are there when they were younger.
Wow, look at that.
I know, I just put that out there. I think they were 25 at the time. Yeah. They were very much like, you do you and you be happy. And I remember, my dad went to, he was like, well, this is what you want to do. So Kincardine is essentially also like Springfield from The Simpsons. There's a nuclear power plant there, and it kind of runs. It's one of the largest in the world. And one of the great things is you get a job at the nuclear power plant, and you would have a great life in Kincardine, but you kind of never leave Kincardine.
Yep.
So I knew I didn't want to do that. So I was like, no, I want to go. And he was like, okay, well, and my mom too. They're like, well, you just follow your dreams and do you. And then my dad went to work, and he told his friends, he's like, yeah, I just told Kevin to follow his dreams. And they were like, you idiot. He's going to fail. You tell him to get a job here, get a good, salary. And then my dad was just like, oh God, I made a huge mistake. And, and
you said no takesy backsies.
I said, yeah, you already gave me the money. And it did. It wasn't like an overnight thing. It took me a super long time to even get going.
I'm sure
that's when he was like, I've made a huge mistake.
A huge mistake. You see that?
Yeah. Oh God.
Let me ask you this: what were some odd jobs that you were doing trying to keep the acting career afloat early on? Were you like a bartender? What?
Yeah, I was a bartender in every restaurant, or a server in every restaurant in Toronto for about a week before I was fired. I was hired on charm and fired on incompetence about 100 times in Toronto.
How incompetent are you, Kevin?
I'm just not. You know what? And this is not a great skill. I think I remember reading once in a magazine some article about one of the best traits you can have is just one of those people that are just like, I'm going to be whatever my job is. If it's parking cars, I'm going to be the best at parking cars. And I'm just not that. If I don't want to do it, I'm just like, see, I don't care. I don't care what people think. It doesn't
feel that.
That's brand. That is brand right there. That's who you just described.
I'm just not feeling it today, guys.
Hopefully I didn't get to finish the monologue. Okay.
Restaurant was the best experience. Is there a chain that I would maybe recognize that you were like, this is
not a chain? There's I did stay long at this one restaurant down. If you ever go to Toronto, you should go to this area called the Distillery District, and it's where we made booze in Toronto, especially during Prohibition.
Yeah.
And what's kind of cool is it was when we were actually shipping rye to you guys.
That's right.
When you guys were under Prohibition, and there's a bunch of hidden tunnels under Toronto, little hidden catacombs when they were. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it was this old area. They've shot a lot of movies down there too, because it's all cobblestone and stuff like that. And there was this restaurant called the Boiler House, and it was just full of actors. You guys interviewed Antonio we talked about earlier. Him and I met at that restaurant. There's a whole bunch of actors that were kind of at that restaurant at certain times, and some of us kind of went on and are still doing it.
So it's good to know too. Like if things don't work out with One Calls to Heart, you can go to one of Antonio's restaurants and you'll be good to go.
That's right.
I heard he just says like I opened up my third restaurant.
But he's not in Toronto anymore. Isn't he in like Vancouver?
He's in Vancouver. Yeah. So
he just slid that in. And he was like, "Yeah, I got restaurants." now.
Yeah. We were like, we got more questions now, Antonio.
So I've got a question. What stylistically would it be like if you were what comes to mind? Like, if the vibe and the feeling of this show was to go into music, like what would it be like?
You know what? I don't think since I've joined, there's been this push to do a musical episode.